check.
Oh, I'm not even plugged in yet. Hold on. I don't like when you script stuff, by the way. I'm not a fan of that.
Why?
I just think it feels scripted.
Well,
and
some of it needs to be scripted, Camille.
I don't like the way you do it sometimes.
All right, we'll see how it goes. I'll cut it out if you don't like it. Ready? Okay. Welcome back to Nylons and Pylons. This is your host, Blake Knight, here with my beautiful and often antagonistic daughter, my co-host, Camille Knight.
Hello.
If you're just tuning in, let me quickly set the stage for you. If there's a point to argue, we will argue it. In fact, my father used to say, Blake, you are so argumentative, you could argue with a post and dig it up and argue with the hole. Well, I think I passed that down to Camille, but we're going to use it for your entertainment. And I think we should do a segment on idioms, euphemisms, and cliches. What do you think about that?
Well, I think for the record, I'd like to say I'm not argumentative. I'm opinionated.
Oh, well.
And I think there's a difference
That's
between
fine.
The connotation that comes with argumentative.
Well, I mean, either way, that will work to the listener's entertainment.
Of course.
Advantage, right?
Of course.
So, anyway.
Today we're going to get into our recap of the Super Bowl 54, the good, the bad, and the ugly. We'll talk about leap year, finishing final four of our fast food burgers. We'll touch on Kobe and that whole situation, Antonio Brown, our Oscars preview, and I will be explaining
Let's start that one again.
Okay.
So, what do you think about that?
Where are you coming from? What the hell are you talking about?
This is the reason I wanted to go through this.
This is the reason I don't like when you script stuff.
When I say that, you say, I think we should move on. Kind of like you're dismissing everything I just said and then go right into that thing. That's it. That's all you're doing.
Okay.
Okie dokie. So let's try this again. All right. Welcome back to Nylons and Pylons. I'm your host, Blake Knight, here with my beautiful and often antagonistic co-host, my daughter, Camille Knight.
Hello.
If you're just tuning in, let me quickly set the stage for you. If there's a point to argue, we will argue it. In fact, my dad used to say, Blake, you're so argumentative, you'd argue with a post and dig it up and argue with a hole. Well, I think I passed that on to Camille and probably the others. But we're going to use it for your entertainment today. So, hey, what do you think about doing a segment on idioms, euphemisms, and cliches? What do you think about
that? Well, I think we should move on, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Today we're going to get into the recap of Super Bowl 54, the good, the bad, and the ugly. We'll talk about leap year. We're going to finish our final four of fast food burgers. We'll touch on Kobe, Antonio Brown, and our Oscar preview and the nominations. And then I will be explaining to my father the difference between TikTok and Snapchat and like this YouTube age that he doesn't understand.
Yeah, I need to know what that is. I've heard of TikTok. I just am not really sure, and I can never get my Snap to work correctly. So what about the sponsor? Who's the sponsor today?
Today our podcast is brought to you by Felix the Company. If your business is looking for transparency in merchant processing, we want you to check out
FelixTheCompany.com.
Get a free quote, and they won't badger you.
Just do the sponsor.
Okay.
Who's our sponsor today?
Today's podcast is brought to you by Felix the Company. If your business is looking for transparency in merchant processing, you'll want to check them out at FelixTheCompany.com. Get a free quote, and they won't badger you to death like most processors. They'll save you money. Felix.com.
No.
I don't know what you want me to do.
It's FelixTheCompany.com. You can't say Felix.com. That's not the website. Christ. All right. But I'm
not enjoying myself, by the way, right now.
Well, baby, if you would have looked through it, it would have made it a little
If you
easier,
hadn't have changed
I didn't change the sponsor. That was always the sponsor. I didn't even change the sponsor. All right, you got it now. So
hold on.
You read through it while I go through my first spiel again. Welcome back to Nylons and Pylons. I'm your host, Blake Knight, here with my beautiful and very antagonistic daughter and my co-host, Camille Knight.
Hello.
If you're just tuning in, let me quickly set the stage for you. We will argue every point there is. I'll try one time. Well, welcome back to Nylons and Pylons. This is your host, Blake Knight. I'm here with my beautiful and often antagonistic daughter and my co-host, Camille Knight.
Hello.
If you're just tuning in, let me quickly set the stage for you. If there's a point to argue, we will argue it. My dad used to say I was so antagonistic I would argue with a post and dig it up and argue with the hole. Well, I passed that down to Camille, I think, as well as the others, but we'll use that today for your entertainment. I think we should do a segment on idioms, euphemisms, and cliches. What do you think about that?
Well, I think we should probably just move on.
Okay.
Today we're going to get into our recap of Super Bowl 54, the good, the bad, and the ugly. We'll talk about leap year, finish the final four of our fast food burgers, rankings. We'll touch on Kobe, Antonio Brown, and our Oscar previews and the nominations there. And then I will be explaining to my father the difference between TikTok and Snapchat and the whole YouTube age.
Yeah,
so.
I need to know that. I have no idea what's going on with that. Who's the sponsor today?
Today's podcast is brought to you by Felix the Company. If your business is looking for a transparency in... I'm going to do it again. Today's podcast is brought to you by Felix the Company. If your business is looking for transparency in merchant processing, you want to check them out at felixthecompany.com. Get a free quote. They won't badge you to death like most processors, and they'll save you money. felixthecompany.com.
Well, thank you, Camille. So our Super Bowl 54 recap. Man, what a great game, huh?
Mm-hmm.
That was a really good time had by all.
Yeah.
It started slow, but the suspense started to build, right there in the fourth quarter. We were tied at 10 at the half. It was a tale of two halves, pretty much the only thing I got right within our predictions and such. But it was a tale of two halves. First half was kind of slow, 10-10. End of the third quarter, San Francisco had really put their defensive dominance on the Chiefs' offense, and it was 20-10 going into the fourth. And I know many 49ers fans thought they were about to be world champs again, but something in the back of my head, and I know this had to be in the back of the coaching staff for 49ers head, is can we get this through the fourth quarter without the Chiefs going insane?
Yeah.
And they could not do it. The Chiefs rattled off 21 unanswered points and won the game 31-20. It was quite unbelievable. All three playoff games Kansas City played, they were down with substantial deficits and came back and won in the second half. So congrats to all the KC fans. It's been 50 years since you've seen a Super Bowl title. And also congrats to Mayor McCheese, a.k.a. Andy Reid.
Who has a fantastic mustache.
He does, on his well-deserved Super Bowl title. Yeah. He'd gone 22 years without winning. It's the longest that a winning coach has ever gone before they won one.
Mm-hmm.
But, congrats to him. Mahomes was great. He got the MVP. What did you think about the game in general before we jump into the MVP talk?
I thought it was good. I don't know. I kind of felt it
didn't. Kind of boring in the first half. A little bit.
It almost didn't feel like a Super Bowl.
Really?
The commercials weren't that great, and it just didn't. The hype wasn't as the usual hype, and I don't know. I felt like they were competing, but it was. Well deserved on both ends, but
great finish.
Yes, but towards the beginning, I was like, "This is boring me."
Yeah, well, I'm sure a lot of people felt like that, but about that time, halftime hit, and I'm sure everybody was getting their foods and drinks on. What did we have to eat? We had some King Ranch casserole.
Yeah,
which was yummy. A Texan delight.
My friend Colin brought a bean dip, which was really great.
Got some Costco pizzas, which, is always good to fill some of the stomach up with the beer and such.
Of course.
But shout out to my boy Steve's lovely wife Trisha for my King Ranch casserole recipe.
Oh.
I hadn't had it in years, went to their house. It was delicious. So decided to make it, and of course everyone loves it. So anyway, tweet us pictures of your Super Bowl food if you have it. We'll talk about it possibly. Anyway, back to MVP. Patrick Mahomes won the MVP. He was huge and clutch in the fourth quarter, of course.
Yeah, of course.
He ended up with 286 yards, 26 of 42 passing, 2 picks, 2 touchdowns, and also a rushing touchdown. So it wasn't a phenomenal game for him, but it was great when it needed to be.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to throw a wrench in here with a hot opinion about the MVP. I think Damian Williams, Boomer Sooner, should have won it because he had 17 rushes for 104 yards and a touchdown, caught 4 passes for 29 yards and another touchdown. And, come on. And all in the fourth quarter. That's pretty strong for MVP. But I do know that Pat was also amazing in the right spots. What do you think?
Well, I'm just really enjoying him on the social media spectrum at the moment because now that he's won, they do the parades and he's been out there.
He said he was going to Disney World.
Well, no. I mean, they had the huge parades and there's this video and someone throws a beer at him from
Patrick Mahomes?
Yes, and he catches.
Why?
Hold on. Oh. This is a positive. It's a closed canned beer. And he catches the beer and shotguns the beer on this thing in front of all these people. Yeah. And he got all the hype. And someone was like, "Oh, I can't believe he did that." But then he was like, "I went to Texas Tech." What do you think I am? Yes, he was like, "They prepared me," which I thought was hilarious.
Yeah, I'm sure old Cliff Kingsbury was out there
ain't that the
with
truth?
Him.
Yeah, for real.
But anyway, let's talk about the entertainment because that was a big shocker for me.
Yeah.
I'll let you get into that.
So we had Demi Lovato, who did the national anthem, and surprisingly enough which not necessarily surprisingly because she has a very great voice.
Great voice.
But considering the fact that I projected she probably would over.
We both projected she would slide more toward the oversinger.
Yes, but did quite well.
Man, she killed it.
Yeah.
I was very impressed.
Me too.
Very, very good. Very tasteful, but yet still had a little bit of punch to it with the soulfulness.
Yeah.
Man, I'd give her an A.
Yeah.
And she did really solid. What about the halftime show? This is causing uproar,
I enjoyed it.
There was a lot of booty shaking.
Yes, there was a lot of booty shaking. I read this thing that Shakira wore the outfit that have you ever seen the movie Zootopia?
Yes.
The whole thing is Shakira's soundtrack and
right,
that's the antelope that she's the voiceover of wore the same outfit, which I was like, oh, that's pretty funny. I read a whole thing about it, but
is that ironic? Is that what they would call that?
No.
In a movie, that's ironic because she's wearing something from.
No.
That wouldn't be considered ironic.
No, because for one, I think it's planned.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So it can't be planned for it to be ironic.
No, yeah, irony is coincidental, and it's her character, so it's not even ironic.
Yeah, I don't mean it was incidental. I meant were they trying to be ironic? You know what I'm saying? Sometimes how they'll do that on purpose to make it. I'm sure she knew she was doing that.
Yeah, no, I'm going to disagree with you. I don't think.
No, I'm asking a question. I'm not making a statement. I'm saying
yeah.
I think there's something to what I'm talking about here, but I don't know.
I don't think so.
But it was a rump around. That's for sure.
Yes, there was a lot of booty.
J-Lo
pole danced, which so good.
Yeah, I tried to stay away from some of the halftime show because it seemed like one continual Miami party. Which, my assessment is that scene right there wasn't really music to me, but it was a dancing entertainment phenomenon type deal.
Yeah.
The choreography and all that went into it. I thought they did a great job from the perspective of the production and all. That's one of the better ones we've seen in a while. It's better than some washed up band out there lip syncing all the time.
I agree.
Which you never really get a good musical performance that way most of the time anyway.
Yeah.
And then Aroyd.
Which you'd think more people would want to do the Super Bowl considering how large of a venue it is. Yeah, and how
yes,
it's completely
everyone's watching it.
Yeah, so the fact that they do these kind of bullshit artists a lot of the time is something I don't understand, but I guess they put so much money into
the production
and maybe the commercial situation that it becomes less of a thing, but
sure. And then A-Rod of course had to come on the screen before halftime. Our friend Mike was on that bet. Would he show up on stage before halftime? And he did. Well, not on stage, but on camera.
Course.
But of course he worked for Fox, so it's kind of and he's dating J-Lo, so it's kind of like a no-brainer,
why would he
right?
not be there?
I should have made that bet, but I don't really bet on things like that.
Should've.
That was one of the prop bets though.
Yeah, that's fun.
Which I found interesting. Well, what about the commercials? Which ones did you like? And we don't have to go through all of these, but I'll just tell you my 3 favorite And then we can talk about the ones we did or did not like. But you can go first. Pick the ones you like.
My absolute favorite was the Tom Brady because
Let's explain that. So of course Tom Brady
yes
does not have a contract right now. He's open to free agency. He wants to see what people say.
Yeah.
There's been speculation. He had some cryptic tweet with him walking out of a tunnel in black and white. Sure enough, that ended up being the actual opening of the Hulu commercial.
Yes, the Hulu commercial.
Where he, it's all suspenseful. Is he going to talk about where he's going? He's walking the football field all serious, and then he talks about Hulu. Having live sports and whatever else, and he says,
which is genius, by the way.
Yeah,
absolutely genius.
Yeah, of course, that's perfect.
Yeah,
and then he said something like, "What was it? Say goodbye to TV as you know it." But as for me, I'm not going anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So that's also a little cryptic because you're like, is he not leaving New England?
Or is he just not going to not play anymore?
Right, yeah, of course he's playing. He's ready to play. But which one is he going to do? That's the interesting twist to it. I love that one.
And I mean, the fact that he's so handsome. What are the odds?
And married to a supermodel.
Yeah, no.
Well, let me throw one out there that I like because I don't want you to take all the good ones because there weren't that many.
Okay.
Are we in agreement?
Yes, we're in agreement. There was not that many great Super Bowl commercials, which is kind of a letdown.
Yeah. I think the problem was they were trying to be too serious.
I agree.
Like
there was
the
a lot
Google
of
Loretta one.
The depressed one.
And everybody's crying about it. I don't care if it was a great commercial or not.
Yeah.
Don't play it during the Super Bowl. Dude.
Yeah. Okay.
People go to the Super Bowl to forget everything else.
Yeah.
It's like, why do people want to push this just morbid seriousness on us when we're in our most
because sentimental makes
moment.
Money. Sentimental makes money.
Well, that was terrible. I hated
it was
that
terrible.
commercial. I'll never watch it again.
For sure. Well, I don't.
But
really think
okay, so my favorite was the Bill Murray Groundhog Day.
Yeah.
Kind of remake into the Jeep commercial,
which I
brilliant
loved, and I also really loved the Jeep truck, which everyone thinks is so weird, but I really, really like it a lot.
I don't like these gadget vehicles. I like the classic more than anything. Like you gave me an 1980 Wrangler that was kind of remade. That'd be better to me.
No,
than
I really liked it for whatever reason, and
that was a great commercial. Yeah. So if you guys didn't get to see the Super Bowl commercials, they're all over the web. So just Google.
Yeah.
What else did you like?
I liked the John Krasinski. I don't know.
Oh, I like Smart Park. That was genius.
I like his commercial too.
That was very funny.
But that's simply because I'm biased and adore him. So
but the way they were doing it and the way that people think about Boston accents anyway.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah, it's funny.
I love that one. What about? Did you like the Amazon before Alexa one?
Yes, I like Ellen and Portia.
So. Yeah, but the commercial, I don't know. It was kind of slow, is what it was.
I agree. I don't disagree with that.
They could have sped that whole thing.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that.
But that one wasn't bad. The Mountain Dew Zero wasn't bad with Bryan Cranston. They're remaking The Shining.
Yes,
that was funny.
Mm-hmm. Well, the Cheetos.
With MC Hammer.
Yeah, MC Hammer, which I think is a funny commercial.
I did like
but
that.
That's really
you can't touch this.
Which, yeah,
you can't touch this. And
which
then
is kind of not why
he's off doing the hammer dance with the guy's Cheetos.
Well, the funny thing about it is me and two of my friends, Sam and Kyle, we were sitting on the couch and it turned to, I was sat there and I was like, oh, since when do they make Cheetos popcorn? Because that's what the commercial's for.
Yeah.
And right. We were like, oh, it's like a new thing. And Kyle was like, no, this has been around for a while. So we kind of argued this thing. Long story short, the shirt that I was wearing, which was like a promotional Texas Rangers shirt, had a Cheetos logo, and it was Cheetos popcorn that I've had the shirt for like at least 3 years.
Hey,
so he really schooled me on that. So
poetic justice. Well, let's wrap up the Super Bowl talk.
Yeah.
With a couple of just one funny thing I wanted to bring up. We don't get political on Nylons and Pylons. However. The president tweeted after the Super Bowl, "Congratulations to the Kansas City Chiefs on a great game and a fantastic comeback under immense pressure. You represented the great state of Kansas, and in fact the entire USA so very well. Our country is proud of you." Well, if you guys don't know, there is a Kansas City, Kansas, but the main Kansas City, meaning the big city, and they are two separate cities. They're not considered one city split by the border. It's in Missouri. So he did delete the tweet and redo it, but not before the internet caught it, and we all get to laugh at it.
Which I think is shtick, by the way.
There's no way.
I think
doing
it is.
Fast, wanting to get it out there.
No,
and then,
I think it's shtick, and I think
he just causes these situations on himself?
Yes,
he plays dumb?
On purpose, and then everybody hates him, but everybody kind of thinks he's funny, so he gets all this...
He's kind of the Jerry Jones of politics.
Okay, let's not go that far and compare him
The
Jerry.
Evil Empire. No. Well,
okay.
I guess we should get into our, picks and the spread and...
Tale of Two Halves?
Well, yeah, I kind of already mentioned that, but... So, you picked KC 27-24?
Yep.
I picked the 49ers by 1. You also picked the under. I picked the over on the points, and you were right on both.
I always pick the under because they always overshoot it, I think.
Man, they're pretty close, though. Think about it. It was 52. It opened at 52.5. Final score was 51. I mean, they're really... I mean, to be able to just pick a score like that, it's not easy.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
So Vegas had it on that. Well, after the break, we'll talk about a few important February birthdays and uncover some interesting things about leap year, leap day, and also February the 29th. We'll be right back. I did that so we can put a little music in and boom, go into it, because you know how there's some of the other good podcasts.
Yeah.
They'll take a short break. It's literally like a 3-second turnaround. We're back into a new segment. So
yeah.
So won't you leave this one coming out?
I will. But there was one other thing. There was one more birthday that I wanted to talk about, and I couldn't remember what it was.
All right, I'm gonna stop it right here. Then I should make some markers. That's what I should do. All right, I'm gonna make a marker. Let's start at leap year. This will definitely help me.
Okay.
If you're ready to jump back into it, let me know.
I am. Hold on. Actually, hold on.
Yeah, isn't that funny?
Yeah, that is funny.
And I can get into those ones if you want. But, you get those two, and you can say, I know how much you love Tony Robbins or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
You can laugh at me about that if you want.
Ooh, which I actually, since I watched that thing about
You are my guru, or I'm not your guru.
Yeah, on Netflix, I actually was like, oh, I really understand the hype. Hold on. There's this bit about Ja Rule, and I'm trying to think about what the whole thing is. What's his main thing?
He was a rapper.
I know, but what's his big song?
I'm not recording.
There's a bit. Whatever.
Is the video still going?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we don't have time for that. We can laugh about it maybe next week.
Okay.
Hey, we brought up Ja Rule.
I can't remember what it is, so it probably doesn't matter.
All right, you can go.
And we're back at Nylons and Pylons. So we're going to do birthdays of February and leap year.
Yep.
So
not that many interesting ones, but, it's worth 1 minute, I guess.
I disagree.
Oh, you think it's good? Two of your faves?
The creme de la creme.
Okay.
Mr. Harry Styles. His birthday is the 1st of February.
Whack boy band, but really good as a solo artist. I gotta give him props. His solo stuff's dope.
Wow.
Yeah. Musically, it's so sick.
He's
and
fantastic.
he can sing. He's like a Justin Timberlake. He'll end up kind of rising from the pack of the boy band BS.
Oh, he's oh my God, he's literally incredible. And then anyways, but I could go on for days, but we'll not do that. And his, I'm going to try and see him in September because he's doing a world tour again. Anyways, okay. So then there's Jennifer Aniston.
Yep.
Who, come on.
Love Jennifer Aniston. I do think she's starting to age in her face, and I don't like it. But, I mean, none of us like aging, so.
That's absurd. I think she's 50 and looks amazing.
Yeah, for 50, she looks great, but J-Lo looks better.
Yeah.
In the face. Younger.
Well, this is kind of a mess.
Yeah, she hadn't been, done wrong the way Jen has, is that what you're saying?
No, I was going to say that white people generally don't age as well.
Oh, yeah, I agree with that.
And the fact that J-Lo's...
Did you think you were going to offend me as a white person?
I don't know. I have no idea why.
I think you might offend all the white people.
Yeah, all the white people, yes. But because I think...
We probably deserve to be offended.
And she probably... This is the thing also, is the sun is so bad for your skin, and I feel like Jennifer Aniston's probably one of those people that is just, understands that, but
wants to get the sun because she's
white
but
wants to get the sun. So, anyways.
Well, she's still a beautiful woman.
Of course.
And Harry Styles is a great artist, so those are two good ones. Those are two substantial. Did you see that thing I sent to you and Gina?
No.
There is a Cards Against Humanity.
Oh, yeah, I did. I didn't look at it.
It's called something. The one about the cards in the box or something like that.
Oh, that's cool.
But they're putting a Friends version of Cards Against Humanity.
That's cool.
So that'll be fun.
They have a whole bunch of new ones now that are
We should get ones,
Yeah.
because maybe ones that are not so raunch.
No, but that's the only part that is interesting.
I mean, I don't know.
If you're going to do that, play apples to apples.
That's too kid, though.
There you go. There's no in between.
All right, well, let's get into the Valentine's Day birthdays. We got Jim Kelly, great Bills quarterback, 60 years old. Rob Thomas of the Meh group, Matchbox 20, 48. George Murazan, the tallest player ever to play in the NBA, he's 7'7.5". He is 49 years old. J. Rule the Damager from the 90s rap days. He's really dope, 48. And then Jim Jeffries, the comedian, is 43. If you've not heard Jim Jeffries, he's pretty funny. British guy, I believe. Yeah.
He's got Netflix specials.
Yeah, he does. He does. Who are the leap day birthdays?
Oh, Ja Rule, which I think is hilarious.
Hey.
Yeah. And then Tony Robbins, who
Oh, yes.
I know you adore.
I do like
Who
Tony
is
Robbins.
quite the inspiration, and he has a kind of like a documentary thing on Netflix, which is really great. So I recommend.
He cusses a lot, which is kind of...
Which is something I also adore about him.
Yeah, I don't know.
And he does that weird thing where he
I have mixed emotions about it because I'm
it.
from the old school where I just think it's not good. But at the same time, it's like I think people overdo it because now it's so much.
Well, he's made $1 trillion, so who cares,
Well, I just like the principles of what he teaches.
Of course.
So, we'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
Now, there's a cool history behind leap year that maybe some of you know or don't know. Obviously, it's because of the sun. It's tied to the same idea as us moving our clocks forward and backwards. If they didn't add this extra day every 4 years, then within a few years, we would have summer during the winter. That's how far off it can get because they have it down to a science. Well, it goes back to the Gregorian and Julian calendars and all those kind of things.
And like the Mayans and shit.
But that's why we have an extra day every 4 years, February 29th.
Yeah.
Okay. They're known as leaplings.
Which I think is super funny.
Leaper or leap year baby. Interesting dates from leap day. 1916, South Carolina changes the minimum age to work in a mine, mill, or factory. Get this, from 12 to 14. I mean, are you kidding me?
Yeah, 2 years. What the?
But still, they're working in mills and mines. And these kids, you guys these days have to get a part-time job and you're all like, oh, God, my life is horrible.
Well,
we've
got to deal with adults who have no sympathy for anything going on.
We don't because we've been through all the other stuff. But anyway, Hattie McDaniel becomes the first African-American to win an Academy Award with her work for Gone with the Wind. She was the Mammy. She was the role Mammy. And she was the first one to win it for Gone with the Wind, which I've
never seen but have read.
Yeah, it is a good movie. You should watch it.
Yeah.
2012, Davy Jones died. Now, we were talking about this in our production meeting. Camille, I often do that, yelling at them a lot. Camille actually thought Davy Jones was from Pirates of the Caribbean. So everybody get a good, good laugh
this
out of that.
Is not
Captain Davy Jones.
Not the right. Who else? How would I know who Davy Jones is? That's the only way that's the only way that name is recognizable. So I don't know why.
A British invasion band, the Monkees. Davy Jones died in 2012 on Leap Day.
Wow. I was very confused, by the way, y'all.
My favorite baseball player of all time, Hank Aaron. Hammer and Hank, who went through all kinds of racial persecution for breaking Babe Ruth's home run record, and he did it in 73. Well, in 72, on Leap Day, he became the highest paid major league player at $200,000 a year, and now they're making some of the pitchers are making $30 million.
Yeah, because they have no salary cap, which I love that about baseball, by the way.
I hate it because
I think that's fantastic.
I think that's the reason the Yankees have so many championships, but whatever. And then this is the most interesting thing I found about Leap Day. This is actually insane. There's a Guinness Book of World Records holder, and they were the Henriksen family out of they were Norwegian. And in 1960, Heidi Henriksen was born on Leap Day. In 64, her brother Olav was born on Leap Day. And then her other brother, Leif Martin, was born on Leap Day in 1968. All three of the siblings born on Leap Day. That's 4 years apart.
Absurd.
Now they were tied in 2012 by the Estes family from Utah. Xavier was born in 2004, Remington in 2008, and Jade in 2012. I don't know if they were able to induce on those dates since today's times they can control that, but I doubt in the 60s they could do it. I mean, how in the world would that happen? What do you think about that?
I have no idea. I really
don't. It's like winning the lottery. Yeah, it's somebody's got to do it because the numbers are just so vast.
I bet it was probably, I don't know. like now I'd be like, oh, she induced it for that.
Yeah, yeah.
But the 60s, I really have no idea.
I think that's so cool.
Maybe she was like one of the first women to be able to be like, yeah, I had induced labors.
They should have changed their last name to the Leapers or something. Meet the Leapers.
That's a bit much, I think. That's a little overkill.
Well, anyway, let's move on to our final 4 fast food burgers.
Absolutely.
So your brother,
this morning,
Lennox, this morning, he wanted me to tell you guys, actually, he wanted me to tell you the other day when we were talking about this segment that In-N-Out should win no matter what. But this morning, the wife was like, we haven't had In-N-Out in a while. So we went and got some In-N-Out for lunch.
Now, hold on. Let's backtrack on what lunch is. Because I feel like this in itself is a whole situation. Due to the fact that lunch is afternoon, okay? So he comes in and he's like, hey, what do you want from In-N-Out at 11 a.m.?
Yeah, but by the time I drive over there and get back, it's going to be 11:30. People often, in a working world, eat lunch at 11:30.
No, that's way too early.
Well, I was trying to be...
My body isn't awake.
I was trying to help you out in the sense that I knew you were going to sleep late because you worked and such. And
I'm not a morning person.
Yeah, now you'd be hungry, ready for the podcast.
And for the record, generally speaking, I do not eat in the mornings that often.
Yeah, but who's going to pass up In-N-Out? Am I right about that?
Of course, I still had it.
So she had animal fries and a Dr. Pepper too, so she's...
Which I told him that I can't drink.
Fatty McFat.
Yeah, it was so good.
All the fattest.
It was the bomb.
Anyway, it was pretty good.
Yeah,
but it helped me actually make my decision. It actually caused a bracket buster in my bracket. But why don't you start with your bracket? So I'll set it up, and then you can go through to your finals. But don't tell them your winner yet. We'll get to that after I do mine. Okay. Mm-hmm. So we get In-N-Out versus Whataburger. Who's your winner there?
Whataburger.
Whataburger because you're a Texan, and tell me the biggest reason why.
So I really broke this down and thought about this. The thing with In-N-Out is the burger's too clean. And when I go and I want to eat, if I wanted to eat a gourmet burger that was like clean and great, that's what I would go to a restaurant and do that. But if I'm going fast food, I like the fact that Whataburger has the grease that I'm looking for. I like that they're on a Texas toast.
Well, that's when you get the patty melt.
Well, they do a lot of burgers like that.
That's the point. Right?
Yes, the option and the versatility of all the things. There's what I appreciate from them.
Gotcha. Well, In-N-Out for me, I think it is grease because when you add the grilled onions to it, animal style, my thing was falling apart.
Like that.
I know what you're saying though about it's not like super cheesy and like greasy and all that stuff.
I don't feel gross afterwards, and that's something I feel like that's
small.
missing.
The Whataburger burgers are way bigger too.
Yeah,
they're like a third bigger, right?
Well,
anyway. So I also picked Whataburger. I think today that made me change my mind just because if the fries were bomb at In-N-Out, they're really only good when they're animal style.
Yeah, I agree.
If they were bomb, like Whataburger has some, crunchy good fries, then...
And you got to eat them right when they give them to you.
Yeah.
At In-N-Out. And that I don't love either.
And Whataburger's fries are good enough that coupled with the, 1,000 different ways you can make a Whataburger. Of course. Whataburger. Crispy bacon and grilled jalapenos.
Spicy ketchup.
I forgot about that.
What a superior...
I haven't had Whataburger in so long because I can't get it out here.
The cup portion size, they've got
huge.
Like a Route 44. It's amazing.
It's like a super big gulp. All right, let's move to the next one. Shake Shack versus Freddy's.
Oh, Freddy's.
So you're picking Freddy's. Okay, this was tough for me because I adore Freddy's. They're like my little pet fast food burger place, and they are excellent.
Yeah.
It's just when I broke down the burger itself, I just don't think in the fast food world gets any better than Shake Shack. So I had to take Shake Shack, barely like on a last second three-pointer type deal.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So for me, I've got Whataburger and Shake Shack in the finals, and you have Freddy's and Whataburger in the finals, and your winner is...
Whataburger.
Wow. Whataburger.
Yeah.
Do you still have those little table tents with the numbers?
I have all...
Why don't you take some photos of those, of how big the stack is, and put it on our Twitter and our Instagram? Which, by the way, is at Nylons and Pylons, both Instagram and Twitter.
Yes.
And we will see it, and you can tweet us individually if you want as well. But send your funny stuff about burgers and such, or anything we've talked about. We'd love to hear that.
And in a context, though, real quickly, my table tents came from the fact that when I was in high school, and I had a big football high school, whenever we would play at our stadium, our whole class would go to this Whataburger right next to it in Denton, Texas, and we would all go there, and that's where we would be. There would be hundreds of us at this one Whataburger.
It's cultural for sure, just like In-N-Out is here.
100%. And every single time we went, we all stole the tents, and I brought them with me when I moved. So
yeah, I'm going to
and people always ask me
into the Whataburger police because I do not condone stealing.
Oh God, they don't even do it anymore.
The tents?
Yeah, they don't do them anymore. London told me that. my sister, who still lives there.
Well, then I guess those will be a novelty.
Yeah, there you go. I'm gonna
Keep them forever.
I will.
Well, my winner between the two of those is Shake Shack, because just at the end of the day, the burger is superior. And so that's my winner, Shake Shack. I think it's a bomb.
Yeah.
If you disagree, shout out at us. If there's something we haven't tried,
yeah,
tell us that too. We'd love it. We'd love to try new burgers, new food.
It's our favorite.
So when we come back, we'll talk about, we'll touch on Kobe and the horrible day that was. We won't stay on it too long because we like to keep it positive, but we're going to end with a positive note on him as soon as we come back.
I think you're taking 2 minutes.
Yeah, we're taking a while. Right now, we're at 29 minutes. If we go to 35 or 6, I don't mind that. So I think we're okay as long as we can speed through Kobe and speed through... Go to the... It's Antonio Brown next?
Yeah. And I think you're taking too many breaks.
Yeah, we won't do that break. We'll just... Okay. Actually, we can do the break. I can cut it out. It's not a big deal.
Okay.
I'd rather do that and us be ready to start the next segment strong. Okay. I'm going to put in a marker right here. Kobe. Okay. All right.
Did you hit your elbow?
Yeah, but it wasn't bad. Oscars preview.
There's not much left.
I figured I would read through the Oscars, and after each one, you could make a comment about the movies, because I haven't seen many of the movies.
Yes.
So on Kobe, just say everybody knows what happened, or you have your thing for Kobe.
Yeah.
All right, you ready?
Hold on.
And if you want to say we're back at Nylons and Pylons, we appreciate everybody's support. Please subscribe and rate on Apple Podcasts. We're there now. Mention that as you go into Kobe.
Okay. Welcome back to Nylons and Pylons. I just want to thank everybody and for listening in. And, we're now on Apple Podcasts also. So tune in there. You can go and subscribe and rate us.
And even if you hate us, give us some feedback.
Yeah, we would love to hear that too.
So we're going to get into Kobe Bryant.
Yes.
A little bit about the incident and then really just his legacy and what it meant to us.
For sure. I think it was a very sad day not only in Los Angeles where it really killed people, but in the...
It's a bad term.
I know, I thought about it as I said it. But
sorry, Kobe.
Sorry, Kobe. We're here for you. But the tragedy that was losing an American treasure, truly. But, there was a helicopter accident. Him and his young 13-year-old daughter, they were on their way to a basketball...
And 8 others.
And 8 others also, yes. A full family, a husband, a wife, and a daughter, and who also had another child, and then... It was just a whole...
And did you see yesterday, since there was no black box, they said that they couldn't find any malfunction in the engine. So it must have just been the fog and the guy slammed into a mountain.
Yes, they were being driven by a very renowned pilot who had experience in this field. And
they gave him clearance.
And they gave him clearance to go, and they did it anyways in the fog, which, obviously had detrimental...
And everybody knows the result of that. And it was just a very somber day. We were actually in East Texas celebrating my dad's 72nd birthday and my stepmom's whatever birthday hers was.
It was my best friend's 21st birthday. We were having brunch.
Yeah, we were sitting at the house of my dad, and a friend of my wife texted her, and she, it just changed the entire mood of the day.
Yes.
His legacy, not only in the NBA community, but in LA and really across the world with what he's done since basketball, is just, it will not be forgotten. He taught people the combination, and Lombardi talked about this on GM Shuffle. The combination of skill level and work ethic is rare.
Yes.
And that's why he became what he was.
Yeah.
To our family, it really just made us stop and think for a moment, because we were traveling with twins and a 6-year-old.
Of course.
And it was kind of hellish at times, but it really made us stop and go, you know what? We need to be thankful right now for what we have. Every moment is precious. And thank you, Kobe, for what you contributed to our lives, and you will not be forgotten.
And thoughts and prayers to his wife and family and everyone involved. Yeah.
Well, let's jump into Antonio Brown real quick.
Absolutely.
I don't want to prolong this after talking about such a great American icon.
And now we've got a train wreck.
But there were so many funny things about this.
But as true American entertainment, we love a train wreck.
We do like a train wreck. You're right about that. Well, his troubles, and the chronology of this is not correct, but I'm just going to throw out all these different things I found out about him. He was sued by a chef for $38K. If you guys don't know who Antonio Brown is, then you're really on the
Look,
fringe. But that's okay. There's a lot of listeners who aren't necessarily loving football, but
they will no doubt give him a documentary at some point.
Yeah. Hopefully not the same type as Aaron.
Oh, no, I doubt that.
But Antonio Brown was a All-Pro wide receiver for the Pittsburgh Steelers, pretty much the best receiver in the league. Got into, some verbal confrontations within the locker room. They ended up trading him to the Raiders, and then, from there, it just really went downhill. But he was sued by a chef for $38,000 for unpaid bills. Okay. He threw furniture off his 10th story penthouse balcony because he was in an argument with somebody in there. Almost hit a 2-year-old down on ground level. Yeah. I mean, that would have killed a 2-year-old.
Yeah, which is insane.
Another time he paid by Facebook to do a live feed from the locker room after the game or during halftime or something like that. I mean, that's a no-no, number one.
Yeah, you can't do that.
And Mike Tomlin was ranting or getting excited about something. He was filming the whole thing. That's not a team player, guys.
He's an amateur.
Threatened to sit out training camp due to his helmet. He loved his old helmet. NFL said it's not up to code now, safety-wise. You got to get a new helmet. He refused. Then he burned his feet doing cryogenic therapy. Couldn't practice.
It was out for like 3 weeks.
Then when he finally arrived at training camp, he did so in a hot air balloon. Look at me, look at me.
I think he's hilarious.
He tried fighting GM Mike Mayock. I mean, come on. Everybody loves Mike Mayock. He used to be on ESPN. Sued for sexual harassment by a former female trainer.
You can't do that.
Cited for reckless driving in Pittsburgh for going over 100.
Not surprising.
Exposed himself to an artist he brought over to the house to paint a mural.
Yeah.
I wonder if he was hanging out with Louis C.K. that day.
That is not okay.
And then he used social media consultants to get him released from his contract by the Raiders by leaking an edited conversation between him and head coach John Gruden. And now he's apologizing for it all. And to the Steelers, and to the NFL, the entire NFL, and to every woman he's ever had an incident with.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, dude. Sour grapes.
In one apology altogether, not separate.
Yeah.
That's the best part. He's a train wreck, but really hilarious.
Did you know he is a cousin to our beloved Hollywood Brown? Did you know that?
Yes, I did know that.
That's kind of sad because that's probably a little embarrassing for him, just coming to the NFL and
yeah, but I think in that sort of environment, anything that'll get your name spoke
out there.
Yeah, I think it's kind of okay.
Now here's a couple interesting points about Antonio, and we'll move on.
Yeah,
he does not believe in alcohol and does not drink it.
Good for him.
That's what's amazing is that if he were drinking,
I bet he's got trauma.
Holy cow, dude!
From that,
maybe.
There's a reason.
His dad Eddie, I don't know about his alcoholism or if he drank or if he didn't drink. But his dad, Eddie, fun fact, is actually well known as the most prolific Arena League football player of all time.
Wow.
Yeah. But now he's asking to get back in the NFL, but he's also asking, he wants to fight Logan Paul.
Which
Camille
love. Which I think the funny thing about it, the reason I like it so much is I like boxing to begin with. I feel like Logan Paul has done decent.
Well, he lost the last one.
I know, but
he's big enough. He's
gone from, hold on, but the thing is he's gone from being like, no, exactly. Well, he's gone from being like a YouTube, he just decided he wanted to start fighting people, which, okay.
Fighting rivals?
Yeah, fighting rivals, and to now the fact that this is something he actually does, and like gets real fights that are broadcasted, and like, even though he's just a YouTuber that talked a lot of shit, and people were like, oh, okay.
At the end of the day, who knows if he'll ever play again, Antonio Brown.
Oh, Antonio Brown. Yeah.
It'd probably be a shame if he didn't because he's so good, but at the same time, on a team, I mean, how does that work? It's just, what's next?
So we're going to talk about TikTok versus Snapchat, which we're not going to do versus for the record because they're not in comparison. They're not the same. And I know you don't understand that.
Okay.
So for all of you that don't know, for all of you who are like apprehensive about going and like getting a TikTok, you should do it. Because I didn't want to do it. And my little sister, who is 17, she was making them. And I was like, oh, this is kind of stupid. And then I started watching some of them and they are hilarious. It's kind of like Vine, for the record, which is no longer.
Okay.
May it rest in peace.
I remember Vine.
Yes, may it rest in peace. So TikTok is kind of a new thing because you can do 15-second videos or you can do a full minute. And you can borrow other people's sounds. People do a lot of like voiceovers and mimicking and
so how's that different from Snap? Is it Snap or Snapchat?
Snapchat is the
Is Snap just like the short word or the company?
It's like the slang of it. No. Snapchat is what it's called.
I think their parent company's called Snap as well.
No.
No?
No.
Okay.
This was one thing. And Snapchat is like texting. Like it's like you can call from them, you can FaceTime from them, you can. But where it became like a whole thing is you can obviously
less of a TikTok is less of a a personal portal and more of a video platform.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
It's kind of YouTube-ish, except it's singular 1-minute videos
Gotcha.
versus Snapchat, which is an actual communication situation.
Okay.
You take a picture, you can put how long it'll last when you send it to someone, or if you put it towards your story, the story only lasts like 24 hours.
Oh, I see. So it's similar to Snapchat in that way, where it only lasts a certain amount of time.
No, TikToks are out there. They're
You're saying Snapchat is that?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, I tuned out from I was staring into outer space. So I understand that.
Yeah.
But I should get one to
No, you should not. You would not enjoy it.
Why not? I like videos. I post videos of your brother and sister playing sports.
That's not the same. You would not understand the context of a lot of things being said.
Can't you use it for business too, though?
TikTok?
I think people are trying to start using it for business.
An advertisement, maybe.
Oh. Yeah.
Product placement, but not really like...
All right, well, we're short on time, so why don't we jump into our Oscars preview?
Yeah.
And we'll try to get out of here pretty soon. The Oscars are tomorrow.
Yes.
And, or if you're listening to this on Sunday, would be today.
Yeah.
But the best picture, up for the best picture, the nominations are The Irishman, Ford versus Ferrari, Jojo Rabbit, Joker, Little Women, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Parasite, Marriage Story, and 1917. Now, I know you had said in our previous podcast, Hustlers should be up there, but that's nowhere near here.
I know.
Which just probably means it's a guilty pleasure type movie.
No, it was
But
so
anyway,
great.
who do you like for best picture?
Best picture, Little Women, I think, or
Really?
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is really good, but it is too long.
Of course. Well, but it's Quentin Tarantino, which everything he does is too long, but it's always fantastic.
Yep.
So it's like there's a little bit to that.
I heard 1917 is good. It looks awesome.
This
but I
is
like
the
movies
deal
like that.
with that.
I need to watch that.
I feel like it's just after Dunkirk that they already did. It's just the same thing over and over and over again. And Christopher Nolan, you can't beat. So
Have
it's
you watched
like
The Irishman?
I did watch The Irishman.
Now it's super long too, but was it awesome?
Loved it.
See, Lombardi
Fantastic.
and Adnan Verk are like lovers of this.
Fantastic. But
And
I
wanna
also
watch it, but it's too
adore
long.
anything that's sort of mob related,
Yeah,
and
of
that's
course.
what it is.
Well, I fall asleep more than
Super
30
great.
minutes sitting down
Yeah.
to watch anything long-winded these days, so I don't know if I'll get to
I
it.
feel like the Joker also I did not personally see, but everyone I talked to said it was absolutely fantastic.
See, I've heard the opposite, that it was horrible because it was so just dark and grody.
No, see,
I guess
I heard,
it just depends on what you like.
of course.
You know?
Yeah.
I would like to watch Ford versus Ferrari. I bet that's a pretty good one. You know, I like Matt Damon.
That's in
Who's the other guy? Leo?
No.
No.
Oh my God. He's The Dark Knight.
Oh, Christian Bale.
Yes,
Gotcha.
who
Okay.
I adore.
So who do you think's winning Best Picture?
Probably Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. That's my bet.
Really?
Or The Irishman. Those are my two.
I don't think The Irishman's going to win it because it was a Netflix. I don't think they give it enough.
Huh.
Yeah, I don't
That's
think they
an
give
interesting
it enough,
tidbit.
enough press
No, I
yet.
disagree with you.
I'm going to say Little Women. No, I'm sorry. Back up. Joker's winning. 100% Joker's winning. So actor in a leading role. That leads me to that. You got Antonio Banderas, Pain and Glory. Leo, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Of course.
Adam Driver, Marriage Story. Jonathan Pryce, Two Popes. And Joaquin Phoenix, Joker. I think we can both agree Joaquin Phoenix will probably win it.
Yes.
Okay.
He probably will, but I also think maybe Adam Driver might win.
Really?
Yeah.
Marriage Story.
Did
The name
you
of that.
watch it?
I've been living a marriage story for all my entire adult life, thanks to getting
Speaking
married.
of your
21.
ex-wife, my mother,
Oh, God.
she told me do not watch it. And I was like, why? She was like, you won't want to get married after this. She was like, do not watch it. She was like, you really won't like it.
Well, there are ups and downs.
I did not watch it, but Adam Driver's really fantastic, and everybody was raving about his performance. So,
all right. Well, actress in a leading role, Cynthia. If I get the name wrong, I'm sorry. Erivo, and Harriet.
Mm-hmm.
Scarlett Johansson, one of my faves.
Yeah.
Marriage Story. Oh, how do you say this next girl's name? Saoirse?
no, it's like
Suarez Ronan. Little
Yes,
Women.
yes.
Charlize Theron, Bombshell, and Renee Zellweger, Judy.
I can't say her name right, so I always feel bad.
Ronan?
But yeah, I think she's gonna.
For Little Women?
I think she's getting it.
All right, great.
Because Little Women did really well, and it's got Timothy Chalamet in it, who's
Okay,
fantastic and so handsome.
I don't know what that is.
And who is in The Devil Wears Prada? What's her name?
Glenn Close.
No. What are you talking
Meryl
about?
Streep?
Meryl
Meryl
Streep is also in Little
I
Women.
get them confused a little bit for some reason.
Who I also love, but yeah.
Okay.
So I think she's gonna win it.
All right, actor in a supporting role. Tom Hanks, A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. Anthony Hopkins, Two Popes. Love Anthony Hopkins. Al Pacino. I mean, this is filled with just G's.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Al Pacino, The Irishman. Joe Pesci, The Irishman, who I hear is fantastic.
Yeah.
And Brad Pitt, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Who wins that one?
Al Pacino.
I think Tom Hanks is going to win it.
I would love
When
if
everyone
Tom Hanks won
zigs,
it.
you zag. That's what they did with this movie.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's great, but I don't think he'll win it, but I would love if he did.
Yeah, understood.
Yeah.
Actress in a supporting role. Kathy Bates, Richard Jewell movie. Laura Dern, Marriage Story. Scarlett Johansson, Jojo Rabbit. Florence Pugh, Little Women. And Margot Robbie.
Margot Robbie.
Sorry, Margot Robbie, Bombshell. Who wins that one?
Margot Robbie.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
She plays, what's her name? Like Charlotte Tate? Something?
I don't even know what that movie's about. Does it have something to do with that chick from TV?
Chick from TV. Yes. I mean,
Because Charlize Theron, I thought it was the real woman. What's her name? The lady on TV?
no. What are you?
She
No.
looks like that.
That's not right. We're not talking
That's
about.
not who that is.
No, that's who that is.
She looks just like her, though.
Charlize Theron? I
In the
disagree.
movie. Doesn't she play? What's the lady's name? The one that got into it in the press and.
No, that's not right though. What you're talking about.
That's not what the movie's about?
No.
Oh.
That's the.
What's Bombshell about?
Oh, Bombshell. What?
That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, okay. I'm thinking we're talking about.
We're talking about Charlize Theron in Bombshell.
Yes.
What's the lady's name that on the
I
TV
don't know.
who she's playing?
I have no idea.
It's like I can't remember her name.
Were there broadcasters?
During the
Yes,
the
I don't know.
Trump presidential thing,
I don't
she got
know.
into it. She was the moderator. And
Yeah.
I can't remember her
No,
name.
I don't know.
Okay. Anyway, she looked exactly like her. It freaked me out. I thought it was her.
Oh yeah.
Anyway,
She's fantastic.
so I think she's gonna win just because she looks so much like her.
Oh, yeah, that's not bad.
Let's see, and then animated feature film: How to Train Your Dragon, The Hidden World, I Lost My Body, Claws, Missing Link, and Toy Story 4. Toy Story 4 was the only one I saw, but I loved it. Like I did.
Did you really?
I love the franchise. It's great. It's just great. I'm picking them anyway.
I Lost My Body is Netflix.
Yeah.
And I also think Netflix is really doing great. So I think it was really well done. But
Okay.
yeah.
Well, next week on Nylons and Pylons, we'll review the Oscar winners and the winners at the 2020 Westminster Kennel Club Dog Show, which I love talking about dogs.
Yes.
We'll update you on NFL free agency and look at and probably laugh at the debut of the XFL. Go through some of our favorite idioms and euphemisms and take a look at what happened on Valentine's Day.
Oh my God, I've been holding in a cough literally the whole time. Okay. Thanks for tuning in to Nylons and Pylons. Please go and follow us at shit, I'm gonna do it again. Fuck. Thanks for tuning in to Nylons and Pylons. Please go follow us on Twitter at Nylons and Pylons, at Camille Knight 24, which is my personal, and at BK MC GRAW McGraw, which is Blake's personal. And then hit us up on Instagram. We all have our personal ones. At Nylons and Pylons is our account.
Follow and rate us on Spotify or subscribe and rate on Apple Podcasts. The link to those are in Instagram and Twitter.
Thanks for tuning in to Nylons and Pylons, and have a great week.
Thanks, guys. All right, let me save. Oh, no, save this. Dude, we got to 40.